Hello everyone and welcome! In today's video I'll be talking about and demonstrating how to use the relatively new Resmed HumidX moisture exchange cartridges designed for the Resmed F20 series full face masks that are used with the Resmed Air Mini Travel CPAP system. Now, just touching very briefly on the Resmed Air Mini, I purchased this unit several years ago to sort of meet the requirements of having a portable CPAP unit that was ultra compact, lightweight, and extremely efficient on power, which is what the Resmed Air Mini does very well. And while I do like this unit a lot, that it does have several challenges that every Air Mini or prospective Air Mini owner needs to be made aware of. Is that number one, if you buy the Air Mini system, that you are limited to about 4 or 5 CPAP masks made specifically by Resmed because it uses the proprietary sort of Resmed hoses, and you can only use it with the P10 nasal masks. You can buy an N20 nasal mask, or you can use the F20 series face masks, and to my own discovery, you can actually even use it with the original F30 face mask that looks a lot like this, but just simply doesn't cover your nose. It just sits under your nose and covers your mouth. But either way, you're limited to 4 different CPAP mask styles. Secondly, the Resmed Air Mini is extremely noisy. If you guys don't already own one of these or are thinking of owning one, just be aware that they use these proprietary hoses, and because they are smaller in diameter and just the way the exhalation ports are made with no sound dampening material, that these things hiss and whoosh like crazy, and it took me several days to get used to using one of these things. But once you get used to it, in general, they're pretty good. And the third issue that I find with the Resmed Air Mini is the lack of water-based humidification. Now, you'll notice here, because this unit is so tiny, it's not really much wider than a standard iPhone 13, that there's no provisions for anyone to attach a humidifier of any sorts. And so back when this unit was released, Resmed had actually put some thought into it by creating what they call the Humidex moisture exchange cartridges. But the problem was with this is that it was limited to users that used nasal pillows or nasal masks, meaning that you had to be able to tolerate using a P10 like this, or you would use a similarly designed N20 that went over your nose. If you suffer from nasal congestion or you were a mouth breather and relied on one of these, you were basically out of luck, because based on the elbow design and the mask design, that there was no provisions to insert a moisture cartridge of any sorts like the other hoses were. So fast forward now into the spring of 2021, I had discovered that Resmed released the F20 specific moisture exchange cartridges. So these cartridges here, they're specifically packaged as Humidex F20. It's in the blue packaging. There's also a plus version on the non-F20 cartridges. I really hope, Resmed, if you watch this video, that you release a Humidex plus version for the F20. 15 bucks Canadian a pop. You can buy them individually or you can buy them in packs of 3. The cost is all the same. Now, upon opening the package, this is what the cartridge looks like. You've got the white ring on the forward-facing portion of the cartridge, and then on the back side you've got the blue ring with the holding tabs. It's marked left and right. There's some securing tabs on the front to lock it into the mask, and then this spiral paper honeycomb looking thing is that moisture exchange medium. It's got this special coating on it, you know, Resmed's proprietary sauce that they've mixed in with that paper-like material that will absorb and release moisture as air flows across the membrane. Now, to install it, very easy. Make sure that your mask is in good working order. Remember, it has to be a Resmed AirFit or AirTouch F20 series full face mask. Any size, doesn't matter. You take the cartridge with the Resmed logo facing up, white end facing forward, and then place it into the bottom of the mask. You gotta kind of wiggle it around, line it up with the grooves, and then it should just snap into place if it's aligned properly. And it took me a while to understand that, but once it's in, and if it's installed properly, it shouldn't fall out. And that's all there is to it. To use a CPAP, obviously put on the mask, attach your air hose, and off to bed you go. There's no special configuration in the Resmed Air Mini app, nor is there any special changes that need to be made on the physical hardware itself. It doesn't care if you use Humidex. So that's all there is to it. Now, the $1 million question is, how well does it work? Well, I can say this, that when I use my CPAP at home, I have to have my humidity cranked up to the max. And that's the only way that I can sleep throughout the night without having to wake up to drink water. However, when I use a product like the Resmed Air Mini, I consistently have to wake up 2 to 4 times a night to drink water because my membranes are completely dried out. And when I wake up, my mouth is like a desert. That being said, on my most recent travels, when I used the Humidex cartridge system, that the first day I didn't notice much of a change. But by day 2, 3, 4, and onwards up until night 7, that I noticed that I only woke up maybe once or maybe never throughout the night, which is a very consistent change compared to using it without one. So, in other words, it does work to a degree, because I still find that when I wake up that my membranes are still a bit dry, not extremely dry, but a bit dry, and I've used it now in several places. I've used them in arid climates, I've used them in coastal climates, and it generally does seem to offer a slight improvement compared to not using it at all. So at a cost of 15 bucks, and it lasts 30 days, I've never used my travel CPAP for more than 10 to 14 days at a time, so the cost per night of use will obviously vary. You know, once you crack these open, regardless if you use it, it's only good for 30 days, so just keep that in mind. So whether that value of adding humidification is worth it to you, it's going to be for you to decide. In my particular case, if I have a trip that's spanning for more than 5 days at a time, I personally think that it's worth the $15 to just get better comfort out of your CPAP unit. That being said, that's all I've got. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, smash that like button on the bottom and consider subscribing to my channel. And thanks for watching.